Guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss the solution part of this particular problem, that is the valid palindrome. So I have written a little bit of the code that we have created a start variable which is nothing but a zero, a last variable which is nothing but the last the last index of this particular string, and a character that is current first, which tells us about the character at the starting position, and the current last that tells us the character at the last index. Okay, so we have already discussed that if the string has i- string has null, which basically the string doesn't have any of the characters, then we are going to return true. Okay, so we are going to write that particular thing, that if s dot is empty is empty, we are going to return true. Return true basically. Okay, now we are going to create a while loop. Okay, basically we are going to create a while loop. While start is less than the end, so that we do not get stuck in a loop that we are iterating again and again through this particular string. So while start is less than or equal to the last, what we are going to do is basically what we are going to do, we are going to use the two functions that we have made already, that we have discussed already. Okay, the inbuilt functions that are present in the Java. That if the character is not a letter or a digit, basically we are going to skip. So that is already written in this particular question, that we need to remove all the non-alphanumeric characters. This particular thing. Okay, so we are going to do the same, that if the character is not a letter or a digit, what we are going to do is we are going to skip that particular thing. So we are going to write that particular thing, that if character is basically a letter or digit, and in this particular function we will pass the our first character, that is first. What we are going to do is we are going to basically increment the start. Start. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell is what I'm trying to tell is that suppose suppose we have something like star abc at okay, start abc and then hashtag it is there. So if we encounter this particular star at the first position, we are going to skip this particular thing as it is given in the particular question. And if suppose we encounter a hashtag at the very end of this particular string, we are going to skip that as well. So we need to decrement our what the last variable that we have created. So that's what I was doing that I was basically doing there. So if the character is not a letter or a digit, we are going to increment this particular thing. Okay, now we are going to copy this particular thing, paste this. Else if the character is not equal to is a letter or a digit, and we are going to pass the last letter, that is current last. We are going to decrement the last thing, that is last minus minus. Okay, now what we are going to do is, and if now we are going to check this particular thing, that whether that In the else part, what we are going to write is that if the character at two lower, so we need to convert it into the lower case as well, no? So to lower case, we are going to pass the first letter, the first character basically is not equal to the character dot to lower lower case. We are going to write, then we are going to return false. So what we are going to do, what we are doing in this particular thing is that basically suppose A, B, C, D and uh, E and F is it is there na. We are going to check this particular A with this particular F, that whether they both are same or not. If they are not same, we are going to return false, and we are going to increment this particular start to this next and decrement this pointer to its left. That's what we are going to do. So if the character to lowercase is not equal to, we are going to pass the first thing, that is first and last. Okay, so we are going to return false as they are not equal. So we are going to return false, and after coming out of this else loop, what we are going to do, we are going to check the while loop where it is. Okay, so after that we are going to increment the start plus plus, as well as decrement the last pointer, last minus minus. Okay, so and at last, after coming out of this particular while loop, we are going to return true, as it has checked everything and it has not found any fault or discrepancy. Okay, so now we are going to run this particular thing. 1 second. Okay, so it is showing an error. Let's quickly resolve this particular thing. We need to capitalize this. Okay, so we need to keep in mind that these all the inbuilt function, they have some of the characters in a capitalized form. So we need to remember that what are those letters. Otherwise, it will show error. So it is showing false only. Okay, one more thing is, I think because of this particular thing, finding a problem. Okay, so now it is getting accepted. Now we will quickly submit this particular code. So it is getting submitted also. So thank you.